Hello, this is Tim from Tim's Autistic Journey. This is a video series that I'm doing. It's linked to another video series on YouTube called Ariose Sailing. Ariose is spelled A-R-I-O-S-E. That's Alpha Romeo Oscar India Sierra Echo. And that's a YouTube sailing video, but I'm linking the autism to it because I'm an autistic sailor, solo sailor. So I did one video 1 year ago as an introductory, and I had meant to continue, but as of challenges, being autistic, I'm very scattered and I wasn't able to continue. Plus I had a lot of things giving me stress, and still a lot of things giving me stress, but I'm really trying to get this video series going and hopefully to continue bits and pieces of it every week or couple weeks. So stay tuned. One thing I touched on in the first video, which was quite rambling, is interoception, which is a person's ability to feel and sense their own pain and their own sense of where their body is in space. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. I touched on my inability to sense hunger the same way. Also, some bodily functions that are different for me, that I managed to resolve on my own through my own personal research. And today I want to talk a bit about pain. I don't experience pain the same way others do, or I clearly don't express pain the same way. So when I talk about pain to someone that I know, like my now ex-partner, sailing and personal partner, she didn't know what I was talking about normally when I describe a pain or try to figure out what this pain might be coming from. It's like I'm speaking a different language. So when I go to the hospital, doctors often can't diagnose me based on their list of what a pain should be or what it should sound like or be recognized as. So I went into the hospital just a few years ago for debilitating pain, which I woke up to. I had no idea what it was, but it was excruciating, and I never really got a definitive answer at the hospital because I was explaining something. I said it was on my right side. That's really the only sense that it was in the ballpark of what it ended up being. But they kind of gave up on me and sent me home with some pain meds, and within a few hours the pain subsided and I realized it was just a kidney stone. Excruciating, and probably the most pain I've ever experienced, except for maybe once at the dentist when I was in my early 20s. So I often have, and autistics often have, a very different experience in dealing with the medical profession. Another pain I had was a known pain, and it was because I nearly took my foot off with a chainsaw. Not my foot, my big toe. Cut into it severely. Ironically, I did not experience a ton of pain with this, so it can work both ways. And I watched them digging around in my foot, in my toe, pulling out rubber bits from my boot before they sewed it up. And I told them that I was autistic because I try to advocate and let people know that I may have a very different sensation of pain, and they may not recognize what it is I'm talking about. And their response to me was they couldn't believe I was watching them dig things out of their toe, out of my toe. So it can work both ways. Another thing about interoception is it's like I don't know, this is common among autistics, I don't know where my body begins or ends, I guess. And even though I'm not very tall, I seem to bump my head an awful lot and have gashes and wounds in my head. I don't right now, luckily. And also, I injure myself a lot, but it's like these injuries, I'm either very used to them or I don't really feel them that much. I do have pretty big calluses in my hands from because I'm very physical, a very physical worker. So this is common among autistics. It's also common to be fairly clumsy and awkward. Have a particular gait, and I think I have kind of an autistic gait, but a lot of autistics do have that clumsiness about them. It's like a motor neuron thing. So I just want to talk a little bit more about interoception. There's a lot of things that I'm going to be covering, so you'll have to stay tuned. If you like these videos, go to Ariel Sailing. I think my Tim's Autistic Journey is linked to that, and you can go to Patreon and give me a monthly donation, which would be very helpful, because I definitely can't continue to do this. I have a lot of barriers in front of me when I'm employed, just for the nature of being autistic and expressing myself in such a different way. What you see here is very difficult for me, because I actually express myself way more concisely and better in writing than I do. I think that's called hyperplexia. I forget now. Anyway, I should always research things before I talk about them. So that's it for now, and thank you for coming along.